Good morning, Bucknutters, and welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 on Monday, March 30th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle. First of all, how about the year the Big Ten is having thus far? Ohio State won the football national championship, Ohio State won the wrestling national championship, and now there are two Big Ten teams in the Final Four. I wish one of them was Ohio State, but Michigan State and Wisconsin are carrying the torch for the conference this time around. Can the Big Ten capture its first basketball national championship since 2000 when the Spartans won it? We'll find out in about a week. It could be an all Big Ten championship game, although both Michigan State and Wisconsin will be underdogs in their national semifinal games. The Spartans will play Duke, while Wisconsin will play undefeated Kentucky. I give the Badgers a really good chance to win that game. Anyway, what a 3 months it's been for the Big Ten. I picture Jim Delaney somewhere sipping scotch and smoking a cigar. On the Ohio State basketball front, all is quiet in terms of D'Angelo Russell declaring for the NBA draft. He has until April 26th to decide. But I think the decision has already been made, and he will definitely leave early for the NBA. When you're projected as high as he is, top 3 overall, you have to go, and I'm sure he will. A lot of Ohio State basketball fans have asked how many scholarships the Buckeyes will have available if Russell does leave to perhaps give out in the late signing period in April. They would have 2 available, but I don't think Thad Matta would use either of them this late. He will likely bank both scholarships, so he will have 2 to use for the 2016 class. If he uses the 2 this spring, then he won't have any to give out next year because the Buckeyes won't have any seniors on next year's team, and I don't think they'll have anyone leave early for the NBA draft. So look for the Buckeyes to bank both open scholarships. They'll have enough new players next season with 7, including the 5 incoming freshmen that will make up Ohio State's 2015 recruiting class, which is ranked as the 6th best class in the country, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite. And now for the latest on Ohio State football recruiting and the big weekend that the Buckeyes just wrapped up. Let's go out to our Alex Gleitman.
Alex Gleitman here, Bucknuts Morning 5, wrapping up the big recruiting weekend for the Buckeyes. They had a number of top prospects in town. And obviously the big story was DeMario McCall committing to Ohio State, becoming the 8th member of the class of 2016, a class that's now ranked 4th overall in the 24/7 Sports team rankings. And there's plenty of coverage on Bucknuts. You can check it out. Urban Meyer was certainly excited about McCall joining the fold, and this is a kid I saw last year at Friday Night Lights, a speedster. He could play running back, he could play receiver, he could play H, he could even play cornerback at the next level, but they're going to slot him into that H spot where Jalen Marshall and Dontre Wilson currently play. They have Kareem Walker also in the class, who's going to be the true running back, and then they have George Hill, who's going to be a slot receiver, possibly even an outside receiver by the time he ends up leaving Columbus. Defensive back's not out of the question either, but 3 exceptional athletes there. They also, made some progress. They had Rashawn Gary, the nation's #1 prospect on campus. It looks like Ohio State and Michigan, as well as Penn State, Alabama, maybe Rutgers, some other guys in there, are going to be battling out for him. Amir Mitchell, another wide receiver safety from New Jersey, an outstanding prospect, had a good visit to Ohio State. Then the big story that I had my eye on, Tristan Wallace, the quarterback from DeSoto High School in Texas, had an excellent time at Ohio State. It looks like if the Buckeyes are willing to accept his commitment, that could eventually be what happens there. Jared Garantano, the quarterback from New Jersey, is expected to visit in Columbus, starting, I think, April 6th, and he'll probably leave April 8th. So that will probably be about a 2-day visit, 1.5-day visit, depending on when he gets in. But it should be interesting to see how things play out there. That was certainly one storyline. And then, the other move that I think people are underrating a little bit is the offensive line situation in the class of 2016. There's likely 3 spots. Tyler Gerald's already in the fold. Liam Eichenberg could potentially join within the next month. That would leave 1 spot, and if Eichenberg decides to go to Notre Dame, it would be 2 spots. But one guy to keep an eye on is Jack Wallabaugh of Walsh Jesuit High School up in Stowe. He is the son of Dave Wallabaugh, former NFL offensive lineman. The Buckeyes are looking at him as a center, and I had a story on Bucknuts about him. It really looks like, right now he's probably a plan B type kid. They're in on a lot of really highly sought after offensive linemen, and they've done a good job of keeping Jack, at bay and being patient, and he knows what's going into that. It seems like Ohio State's kind of the offer he wants. If he doesn't get it, I think he could be bound for Michigan. But right now it looks like Ohio State is really fond of him, and that would be a situation to keep an eye on over the next month. He's going to return for the spring game, and let's see what happens there. So overall, an outstanding weekend for Ohio State. They really grading out an A+, getting McCall's commitment, doing very well with Wallace, Rashawn Gary, Amir Mitchell, a lot of other prospects, that came. And the last thing I guess I forgot to mention, Aaron Hansford from St. John's College in Washington, D.C., teammate of Terrell Hall, Buckeye commit, got his offer. Looks like with Carter Coughlin off the board, he could be an option at outside linebacker, and it could be a when versus if situation. He commits to Ohio State. So, again, A+ for Ohio State staff this weekend, and let's see how things unfold over the next couple of months.
Thanks, Alex. The average star rating for the Buckeyes 2016 class is incredible thus far. As Alex mentioned, Ohio State is fourth in the 24/7 Sports Composite team recruiting rankings, but they are number one in star rating at 94.69. And although DeMario McCall and George Hill aren't true running backs, I like the nickname Dan Rubin has coined for Ohio State, Running Back U. Whether looking at the past, present, or future, that moniker fits very well. Right, Archie? Right, Eddie? Right, Zeke? Right, Kareem? For more on recruiting, Bill Kurlick has his What I Am Hearing column on the site right now for subscribers. It includes items on Rashawn Gary, offensive tackle Jawan Williams, and more. So make sure you give that a read if you haven't already. Ohio State will resume spring football practice tomorrow, and we will interview Urban Meyer afterward around 11 a.m. So look for a story and video and what Coach Meyer has to say on the site early tomorrow afternoon. If you're looking for team coverage right now, our Steve Hellwagon posted a story on Luke Fickell and the linebackers to the site, so make sure you check that out. Thanks again to Alex Gleitman, and thanks to you for tuning into the show. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day. Take it away, best damn band in the land.